Welcome back, everybody, to Pick and Roll here on the Board YouTube channel. We're back at it for Friday after our episode yesterday where we took a little bit of a break from the betting. There wasn't any specific plays that we wanted to hammer on the board, so we decided, played smart. We had 2 winning days in a row, so we'll take it off. But today we are back at it looking to, of course, find some winning plays. And there are 2 official picks that are going to be coming your way today. If you guys have been enjoying the stream content here, or maybe it's your first time checking this out and you like what you see, please make sure to hit that like button. Also, consider subscribing to the Board YouTube channel for NBA playoff betting content all throughout the playoffs. Because there's no recap today, I guess we'll just quickly touch on yesterday's matchup between the Celtics and the Hawks. Pips, you're a little bit of a fan of the Hawks. Unfortunately, they kind of faltered late in that game. But what did you make of Atlanta's performance against the Celtics in that series?
I think considering everything that they played real well, I mean, they are Celtics just more talented team. They did proper fight, I will say. They won 2 games. They were close in 2 games. So yeah, but it's down to Trae Young was amazing first half, but he was 1 for 13 in the second half. And when you look at that, that's just no way you can win your game when your best player is 1 from 13 in the second half. That's 7%, 8% from the field in the second half. That's just no way you can win. And unfortunately, if he had a little bit better second half, I think we will have tight series. But sometimes you have great performances from Train Ford. Sometimes like this. So.
He really needed to carry that team, and we saw in the first half he was carrying, and when he stopped, naturally the Celtics took over. Yeah. But respectable to lose to that Celtics team in 6. All right. With that, we can move now directly into the official pick segment of today's show. And for the first time ever, we have a pick for the next day because we had the lines early for playoffs. And it's the weekend tomorrow, so we have a play coming through for Saturday on this one. Let's go first of all to tonight's play, and that is in the Kings and Warriors game. We have a 3-tiered parlay here, and we are going to be going with Looney, 10-plus rebounds, Wiggins, 15-plus points, and also Draymond Green over 4.5 assists for minus 119 odds at FanDuel. Confirmed. You can lock that one in there. That one, by the way, is moving very fast. Highly encourage you to get this one in at this price. We're a little bit worried about that one. Second one here is in the Suns and Nuggets game, which again is in tomorrow's slate. I believe it is the only game on the slate. And we are going to be taking Kevin Durant, 25-plus points, and Jokic, 20-plus points. And that is minus 120 odds at FanDuel. Okay, Pips, let's first of all go to today's play. We have the Warriors and Kings. I have a suspicion this series will end tonight. We'll maybe talk about that in just a second here. But why do you like this play? What do you like about the players involved?
So I'll just go first off to Kevin Looney. Last 3 games, of course, third game, no Draymond Green. He had 20 rebounds. Second game, next game, fourth game of the series, he had 14 rebounds. And the last game, so in the game where last 2 games where Draymond Green played, he had 14 rebounds and 22 rebounds. And it helps tremendously that we see Draymond Green starting from the bench. So Kevin Looney gets the minutes without Draymond Green, and he's rebounding machine in this series against Sabonis. Just huge rebounds. And I think when you look at the season, even when you look at the season average, when he's playing 32 to 34 minutes, he's averaging almost 13 rebounds a game, because he averaged 9.5, I think, per 24 minutes. So 8 more minutes means a lot more rebound chances. I'm pretty good, feeling pretty good about this, because he's playing high minutes and he's doing great job defending Sabonis. And yeah, I just love Looney rebounds here. Second part of this bet is Wiggins. So the lowest scoring game of the series for Andrew was the first game when he started off the bench and scored 17 points. Next 4 games he scored 22, 20, 18, and 20 points. So he gets the looks. He's scoring very well in this series. Even if he scored only 15 points, that will be the lowest scoring game of the series. So much attention to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. So he gets easy and good looks. So I just think they need to continue with it. And the pressure on Steph is very high. They are doing everything possible to stop him, and that opens up the game for Wiggins. And he's been good so far in the series. I just think he can continue.
Yeah.
And the last part of this bet is Draymond Green assist, which is kind of he lost 2 games, so he was out in that third game of the series. But then over the last 2 games of the series, he averaged 14.5 potential assists and averaged seven assists. Last game 7 assists. Game before that 7 assists. So they play him as a roller in this series because they play dribble handoff and pick and roll with Draymond Green, and he usually gets the ball on the roll, and he's probably one of the best passers of all time of short roll, finding cutters, finding wide open guys. So he should have plenty of opportunities to cover this line. And if we actually see Golden State winning in this game, probably all of these 3 bets should cover in that scenario.
Yeah, completely makes sense here. Warriors at home, where they have looked obviously very impressive this season. It's the away record which has been plaguing them, but with a chance to wrap up this series at home, I suspect they will take that opportunity, and these guys need to have a big game for that to happen. All right, so first time again ever, we're going to be going to a next day play. We have a weekend play here on the Pick and Roll show. Kevin Durant, 25 plus points, and Jokic, 20 plus points for -120 at DraftKings. Also available at BetMGM. What do you like about this one? Obviously, taking the 2 superstar players for each team, but matchup-wise, you think these 2 teams can kind of cater to each other?
So the matchup against the Clippers wasn't the best matchup for KD. They thrown everything at him, like double teamed almost all the time. Didn't leave his shooter off to help on Booker. Just did everything they could to stop KD, and he still scored 25 or more points in every single game of the series. So now he gets bit better of a matchup. We don't know how they defend him, but KD is no, like he showed us again the Clippers that even when you double team him and you throw everything at him, he'll still get his 25 points somehow. And now gets probably a better matchup. Last 2 games against Jokic, he had 34 and 33 points, and that was in 36 and 40 minutes. And we'll see if KD playing 43 minutes as we saw in the first round, and in those kind of minutes, KD can score 25 almost with blindfolded. So I just have my beliefs in that. But on the other side, Jokic, last 10 games against DeAndre Ayton, all average 28 points a game. Last 5 games against DeAndre Ayton, Jokic 31, 29, 27, 28, and 41. So 5 straight games with 27 or more points against DeAndre Ayton. Single coverage, and so they had some decent defensive players, probably Torrey Craig and Josh Okogie on Jamal Murray. KD will probably do a good job, and I think he should guard Michael Porter Jr. So I am not worried about KCP and Aaron Gordon. So this will be a lot on Jokic to score inside against DeAndre Ayton, and I love that matchup for him. I'll say I love DeAndre Ayton single cover for Jokic. So far this season, they didn't double much. They did have some double teams on Kawhi Leonard in the second game of the series, but that didn't end up well. And numbers saying when you double team Nikola Jokic, you are in big time trouble. So I think
find somebody else to pass out of it.
Yeah. So the stats are teams are scoring 1.2 points per 100 per possession. That's just unbelievable. That's probably
Wow.
if you can score like that, that's the best defensive rating in history. So I'm not sure they'll double team Jokic. They'll leave it his scoring. So 20 points it looks very achievable for Nikola in this game. So I like these two combined as well.
For sure. I like both the picks. Makes sense. We got a couple nights here to sweat out some of these free picks here from the Pick and Roll show. So excited for that. Part of the discussion will kind of put you on the spot here. Yesterday, you said you thought about the Suns Nuggets matchup for an hour. You've had another full day to think about it. Do you have any strong thoughts as of now as to who you think will come away with the series victory and move on to the conference finals? Or are you still in the same headspace where you have no idea?
I don't know way more when I see like first 5 minutes of the game. When I see, I mean, it will change throughout the series. So I want to know what kind of defense will Denver play against the. That's the only thing I'm interested in. So what kind of defense is Denver going to play against the Suns? So I can figure out does that make sense? Will that work? And see of that. And it's important to see what kind of Michael Porter Jr. are we going to get in this series, and Aiton. Aiton should be a huge factor because he will need to do a lot on defense against Jokic and also do something on offense. So our star players will get there. That's not questionable about KD scoring and Devin Booker scoring, but we need to see like Mike Porter Jr. We need to see defense of Denver Nuggets too. So I'm just waiting to see it because we didn't have a single regular season game between these two teams since KD trade, so we can't know what they are going to do. So it's kind of difficult to predict this series.
Yeah, for sure. We don't have the luxury, as you said, the regular season matchup to kind of predict, but how the Nuggets will play defense is also very interesting. You spoke about yesterday. I was just assuming Gordon would be on KD, but you brought up potentially putting Michael Porter Jr. there just for size and just kind of, KD is going to cook you regardless. So pick up the pieces elsewhere. So that will be intriguing. Let's also talk about the Boston Celtics here. We just spoke about the Hawks earlier on the show, but the Celtics moving on to play the 76ers. Milwaukee, before the playoffs, you and me said they were the best team. Well, they're out. Are the Boston Celtics now the best remaining team, and would they be your pick to win the championship at this point? Joe Mazzulla may have kind of taken a bit of my confidence away, I think.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I didn't like how they looked in the game against the Hawks. Mm-hmm. So it will be interesting to see if Embiid is healthy enough to just be the best version of himself in this series. So it will be interesting series against the 76ers. If I trusted more Doc Rivers, I would say that Sixers had great chance of winning. But it's Doc Rivers, so
right.
never putting anything on 76ers when he is coach there. So yeah, it will be interesting if they lose in some incredible fashion, like 4-1 or 4-0. I think we could see another coach getting fired. So once again, I will be a fan of him moving away from that job.
I think what's been pretty telling about this series to me, it kind of goes what D. Dot here is saying about Robert Williams only playing 90 seconds of fourth quarter, and he was one rebound away, D. Dot here, from a 40-1 winner on a same game parlay. But with Rob Williams, the reason he's not playing there, he's kind of not been great in the playoffs so far, and he was such a massive part of why they were successful last season and getting to the NBA Finals. But this season, I guess we're starting to see injuries catching up to him a little bit. But Pips, what's your take on maybe Robert Williams' impact shrinking and how that's going to affect the Celtics in their bid to win a championship?
I actually don't know why he isn't playing more minutes. I don't know. Like, okay, they have some lineups that's you need to play Brogdon, you need to play Smart, you need to play White, you need to play Jaylen Brown. you need to play Tatum. So you just have Tatum at 4. It's kind of difficult to defend. So you are playing one big, and you have Al Horford outside. So the driving lanes are open. So that's kind of makes sense. But I think Robert Williams should play more time. They need to play. Last Udoka was winning the games because he played two bigs that can move the feet and do great on defense. So I think playing Time Lord should be like important part of this series, and I don't know why they went away from it. I think it worked like unbelievable last season. Horford had some issues in this series defending some quicker guys. He's great player, but he's
Should be a
almost
problem next
37.
round.
Yeah, it's 37. So I think Time Lord should see more minutes, and this team is better when Time Lord is playing more minutes. But I'm just can't see the lineups, because if you play more Time Lord with Horford, then you lose minutes for Derek White, and he's probably their best. Not saying probably. I think he's the best player in the first round overall. Amazing on defense, very good on offense. Great player. And when shots are falling for him, you need to play him as much as you can because he's great. I'll say even he's better than Marcus Smart. So, like, why playing so many minutes for Smart? I'm not a fan of it in this first series, and second series probably not a fan even more. Malcolm Brogdon did great off the bench in the series, and yeah, I just hope more minutes for Time Lord if Celtics wants to win, especially with guarding Joel Embiid.
Yeah, and we'll certainly see because of the Embiid matchup. I just hope that both teams are healthy here. I don't want the Celtics to win because I naturally don't like the Boston Celtics as many people don't, but I just want to see a healthy series here because we're not going to get that Celtics Bucks series that we were kind of hoping for. So get a full healthy series. I think we have an all-time series potentially on our hands here. But when that one gets started. But thankfully, a little bit of extra time for Joel Embiid to rest up and get ready for that one. But regardless, we have two games tonight. We have one game tomorrow. We have a pick in one of the games tonight. We have a pick in one of the game tomorrow. So let's recap what we have from today's show. First of all, in the Kings and Warriors game, Kevon Looney, 10-plus rebounds, paired with Wiggin, 15-plus points, and Draymond Green, over 4.5 assists. It was minus 119 at FanDuel. In our second play, we have another same game parlay. This one is in the Nuggets and Suns game, game one. We have Durant 25-plus points and Jokic 20-plus points for minus 120 odds at DraftKings. Also was at BetMGM. All right, guys. Thank you so much for another great week of support on the show. If you guys want to stay up to date with all pick and roll content, make sure you're following us at the Board HQ on Twitter. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube to the Board YouTube channel. Make sure as well you drop a like and take a minute to rate and review 5 stars. We appreciate you guys tuning in once again, and we will see you on scheduling update. We'll see you on Tuesday because on Monday I am going to be moving that day. So we're going to take a day off on Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday on the show as normal for our weekday live streams in the morning. We'll also update the audience on Twitter for that. But we'll see you Tuesday, hopefully celebrating 2 winning picks here. Thank you again, everybody.